Hello, everyone. I'm Catwoman,
And I'm Gigi, the Gadget Goddess, and we are
your home girls of tech.
here on the Gadget Chats podcast. We got a slide up section in there for Emily.
Yes, we do.
I didn't think about that until we came back. I was like,
And I'm
Emily said
Emily.
nothing.
Yes, she's Emily.
We'll get that right next time.
Yeah.
But as you can hear, or you can see, Emily's with us today. And she's going to be like a frequent panel guest, when she has time for us. She's always welcome on our platform.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I would do it every week, but I have to parent sometimes. So, you know.
We all have to parent sometime, I guess. It's not really something, we can help.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll knock out the people who are here and then we'll get started.
Yep.
Rachel was first.
Hey,
Rachel in the UK.
Hey.
Greetings all the way from the UK. Thanks for coming. I know it's a huge time difference for you. So
yeah, we appreciate you.
We appreciate your support. Barry was next.
Hey, Barry.
Rachel was happy that she beat Michael, and then Michael came after that.
Hey, Michael.
Michael, unfortunately, is under the weather, so we'll keep him in prayer and hope that he's doing better soon.
I hope you feel better, Michael.
That's when Catwoman showed her lovely face to tell Michael to feel better. Shay Kennedy is here. I'm here. I already said Barry, Shay, Rachel. Lori came in. Hey, Lori. Shout out to Lori. We thank you for the contribution to the Gadget Chats podcast.
Yes, we received a little thank you in our PayPal. We appreciate that. And congratulations to your daughter for getting engaged. I'm so happy.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
I guess I missed that somewhere on social media. I am sorry. I eat, sleep, and work here lately and stream with y'all online.
Of course, the essentials.
Yep.
I was going to say something else about Lori. Oh, and others can, we have our donation links in the description. One of the other things we've always had, and we haven't had anybody do in a while, I thought about it today, is we have voicemail. So
yes,
you can always send us a voicemail. That's on the Anchor site, right?
Yeah, if you just go to gadgetchats.com, it'll take you there. You can leave us a voice message.
So there's a thing if you didn't know about it. Because I know we got some newer people that didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Sean Williams is in the building.
Oh.
Two Phones.
Hey.
Who likes to check us out from Facebook and then sometimes on Twitter, which Periscope ain't gonna be around much longer, and then he'll come into YouTube. Oh yeah, he's in YouTube too. There he is. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You circle around and speak everywhere. Rachel. Big Mosley. Hey. Shout out to Big Mosley. I'm glad he hit me up on Twitter. Somehow he got banned from my personal account, so I made sure he's able to get back in there.
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna have to redo my mods or something because something weird is going on there.
Blame it on Jack.
Say what?
Just blame it on Jack. He's doing all the stuff on Twitter these days.
Yeah.
Bonnie Scoop is in the building.
He's a big fan of Emily. Yes.
Mandy with her purple heart. I love it. Swarthy Daisy. Now, Swarthy is our guest next week.
Yes. We're going to have tons of fun with her.
I promise you won't be harmed in the making of next week's podcast. You said we're going to have fun with her. I'm like, whoa.
Sorry.
I'm just silly, y'all. I told y'all I'm tired. LaShawn, holla at your boy, aka LaShawn, is in the building. He's part of the Ignite Hours where we stream with him on Fridays.
Yes.
Tech for Your Needs is in the building.
Hey.
Good evening. Oh, the Nightbot is in the building. Hey, Nightbot. Hey, boo. LeBaron's here. Welcome, LeBaron. He's been so busy lately. Thanks for dropping by, sir. Ray is here.
Hi, Ray.
I say couldn't Ray. Sharky's here.
Hey, Sharky. He's like, hi, Emily.
Oh, that's funny. Big Mosley said he thought he got drunk and did something inappropriate.
That's also possible.
Mark Torres, what's
Hey,
up?
Mark.
So Swarthy says she's up for the challenge. So
Hey.
I am at the bottom. If you come in, we'll try to greet you or put your comment on the screen while we're going through these things. LaShawn, the Nightbot, is not late. Stop telling her. Nightbot, he's late.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice to see Emily again. Isn't that
Yes.
sweet?
Yes.
Feeling the love.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how we always say that, me and Catwoman kind of alternate who picks the articles and stuff? This is the week of Emily. We have been truly busy. Like busy, I don't know what.
Hi, Leanne. Hi. Glad you were able to make it live.
Yes.
So it was good that she's joined us this week because y'all wouldn't have had a podcast without Emily.
Yeah.
You're also seeing my overachiever side a little bit. It's like, oh, I have a task. Let me do the task and do all of the tasks. Yeah, so you got a lot of links today.
Yep.
So how's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Good for a Thursday. I'm actually working tomorrow.
Oh, you are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 4:30. Another 4:30 start. I was up at 4:30 this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so early.
I'm still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed free. No, I took a nap today. But I can't own all that. I had a dentist appointment, work, and everything else. So no cavities. But
Yay.
So let's start off with what is going on with us. And I have not.
My cat. Sorry.
Oh,
it's like a dog a little bit.
This is my cat.
Oh.
Oh, she's still here. This is Nadine. She has no boundaries, so you might see her tail. She'll try and go across.
Yeah, it's not a shark. It's just a cat.
No, it's just my cat.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when she held her up like this, I was waiting for her palms to go like a little.
She'll swat at me later. Be like, Mom, why'd you do that?
So if you go to gadgetchats.com, it will take you over to our podcast. So if you don't want to see us and you only want to hear us, this is where you go. And it has all the links to all of your favorite podcasting places. So you can listen to us there. There is a section called messages. So when you click on that, that's where you leave us a voice message. Okay. Very simple. You just do a little recording and we'll play it on here.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. On our Facebook, we have 97 people following us. Thank you kindly. On our Instagram, we have 179 people following us.
Thank you.
Nice.
We have 293 followers on Twitter. Thank you. And on YouTube, we have 292 people that are subscribed to us. Appreciate it. And then over on Twitch, we have 14 followers. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Twitchers.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call people on Twitch? I just made that up.
I don't know.
I'll make something up in a minute.
Well.
Nothing spectacular going on for me lately.
Well, let's talk about some tech purchases. Let's get yours and mine links out the way, and then we'll talk about Emily's experience. Okay?
Yeah. So I posted a video this week. If you hadn't gone across to my channel, I'm Gadget Goddess, and I have my case. So I think it's kind of dirty. So I think I see a spot right here. I need to clean it off. So the picture in the video is much better. But this is a Naked cell phone. I've never heard of that company. Naked cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Naked cell phone case, and it's a matte case. So somebody asked me in the comments, does it get fingerprints? Because a lot of the matte cases do, and this does not. I guess it comes in a lot of different colors, like purple.
Even if your hands are greasy.
Right. It does
Although
a
I don't
good
know if
job.
you have that problem.
You're the greasy person?
Well, so I got a matte case, and I guess I just eat greasy food. So this is my case.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Per
yeah.
Catwoman, I got one with the loop. I
Mhm.
like this a lot more than the pop socket, but it's just like fingerprints all the time. So I don't know if I just eat a lot of like greasy foods or I need to wash my hands more. But yeah.
When I had issues like that, I would just, well, they're hard to come by now, but antibacterial wipes, I would just keep those stored. But yeah, they're a hot commodity these days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you though. So yours doesn't make fingerprints though.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I need to wipe it off. I don't know if that's lipstick. I'll kiss my cases every now and again, not purposely, but it looks like lipstick, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
So is it not fingerprinting because it's a different type of material?
I
Do you
think
think?
it's because it's not, like hers is a flat surface, like this is like a grid print.
Mhm. Yeah. Here's the
And,
grid.
Okay.
and they do have, you can get the holster. So I put the listing for the with holster and the
Right
without
here.
holster. Because some people like a holster, or
Mhm.
people work in rough environments. I think it'd be a good case for them.
Yep.
So
And you could face it in or face it out.
Yeah.
That's pretty
pretty
cool.
neat. They even have a camo one. It's just not as good as the camo on the whatchamadoogie.
The whatchamadoogie?
Yeah.
On the the Rinky. I got it right here. It's not as good as this camo, so it's not a see-through camo per se.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that camo is really nice. So for me, I got this. This is the Turtle Beach Elite Pro 2. These are the wired ones, not the wireless ones. And the reason why I got it is because of the mic. I've been doing a lot of voiceovers, and the mic that I'm using right now, I really like it. And it's also by Turtle Beach. It's actually this one over here. It's earbuds with a boom mic. Now they have a white one with blue, but then they also have a black one, but it's usually sold out. So what I did was I went to their website and I bought it from them directly, because if you get it from Amazon, it's going to be like $50. Oh, you actually ended up getting it. Cool. Let me know your thoughts when you try it out. It came in today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, the mic is really, really good. And so while I was doing voiceovers, I was tired of having to have both of the earbuds on. Like I could only have stuff in my ears for so long. So the same company, I bought the ones that are over the ear, and I've actually been using it at my day job. So this is what I have this plugged to my laptop on my day job, and it's so comfortable.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Now I want that for work too.
Yeah. And when they first came out, they were like $250, but now they're $129, which I think is a pretty decent price.
Yeah, I looked at those and I was just like, oh, $20 versus $120. I was like, I'll get these.
Yeah.
Because I don't really use, I have like 3 sets over here, just headphones, and I don't use any of them. So
yeah,
this will probably be more of a waste of money for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Rachel says, I want those.
Yeah, they're really good. Like the mic is just like, that's the reason why I got it, because I just needed a better mic. I need to upgrade all my headphones. Yeah.
Just send it to them. Be like, hey, I kind of need these.
It looks like pillows on your ears. The headsets that we use, because we have to have them on all day.
Yeah.
Like the full 8 hours. And yeah, it's a lot. So, and it gives me headaches. Like I started getting migraines after a while because of the pressure on my head all the time. So those does it like relieve the pressure off your ears?
Oh, yeah. Because of the inside, like there's a hole carved out, you can put your ear in it almost.
Huh.
But it also has like this cooling thing on it. So when you take it off and you put it back on, it like self-cools.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just have like very protruding ears, which they're currently hidden by hair, plus glasses. So then whenever I do like anything over the ears, I feel like I'm just like destined for a headache. But I also have never spent that kind of money on a headset before. So if I actually invested, I might not get the headaches and all that.
Yeah. It would be an investment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I surprised you with that Catwoman. I was like, oh, it came. I said, I'll just pop it on the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
It's
Like
so
I seen
cute.
that box. I seen that box. So we're gonna make you big. How do I do it here? Here.
Oh.
No, but I want you big.
Ooh.
I want you to be big. How do I do that?
Can you click her and it makes her big or no?
Oh, you're making me big?
I'm trying to make you
Look,
big.
she's just like, don't make me big.
Okay, we gotta put you solo. Sorry. Tell us about your tech purchase.
Yeah, so recently got an iPhone XS Max. So
Nice.
pretty.
Yeah.
And up till now, I've only ever gotten phones at Best Buy because I'm like, just do the things, do the data transfers, do the screen protector thing. I'll pay you the
Do it
money
all
to
for me.
do the thing. Like, I just need a phone that works. But this one, it was like an unlocked phone. And then Calvin had suggested the white stone dome glass. So here's my barbarically opened box still. I am really glad that you told me to watch a video before I did this and to not do it with my daughter around, because at first I opened it on New Year's Eve and I was like a glass of champagne in, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna put this screen protector on. And then I opened the box, I'm like, there are so many pieces, like heckin' no. So but it was pretty easy. Like I ended up going to their website and watching their video all the way through first.
Perfect.
And then going through it step by step with the video. And it was really easy. Like I didn't have to redo any of the steps. Afterwards, I looked at the written instructions and they seemed pretty useless to me. So I can't imagine how frustrated people would be trying to install this if they were just doing it off the written instructions. It doesn't make sense. And it's such a complicated and specific process that you need to have those specificities articulated, and they're just not, whereas they are in the video, or at least you can see it. So I only have like a slight bubble on the side, but it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So did you do this with the wine glass in? Did you do it or did you wait?
No, I did this totally sober in like midday.
Yeah.
Child not here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this was nice. Like it was fine without all those other factors. And I could just see how it would not have been okay if like Jenny was like, Mommy, I want to help. And like, but I was like, I didn't really know what I was buying.
She would have ended up with
these tubes and shit. Like I didn't even know. And there was like it comes with a light. What is this? Like I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm like, maybe told me to do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Purchase.
Yeah. So since you've had it, have you had any oopsie moments where
I drop it all the time.
Okay, cool.
Like all the time.
But do you feel like that the White Stone Dome is protecting it?
Yeah, so I started having nightmares before I put it on that my screen was shattering. Yes. Me neither.
Yeah.
I don't know. So because I've pretty much always, usually the reason that I have to get a new phone is because I've shattered the screen.
Yeah.
Like one time I shattered it so bad that I like cut my thumb trying to unlock my phone, and I immediately drove to Best Buy on my way home from work and bought a new phone.
Oh gosh.
You know, we've seen these commercials with the people who cut themselves on their phones.
Oh my gosh.
You were that person.
Yeah. And then my last phone was like shattered, but like underneath the screen protector for several months. So
that defeats the purpose of having a screen protector.
Well, and it's one of those that came with multiple, because it's like, if you drop it, then the screen protector will crack instead of your screen. I don't know.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, I don't know. It works. I'm not bleeding. It's fine. So then with this one, I got the White Stone cover, but I still didn't put it on for like a couple weeks because I'm like, I need to be prepared to put this
Yeah.
on. So then I started having nightmares that I was dropping my phone and it was like shattering everywhere.
Yeah. So are the nightmares finally gone?
They are gone.
Yay.
And I drop my phone all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
I'm glad you have a great
Great.
case and a good screen protector.
Yep, those are the two important things that you need. So how has your experience been from going to the, what was it, iPhone 7?
I had the 8 Plus before.
The 8 Plus? Yeah.
And now I have the SX Max.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I was a little worried putting on the screen protector that that I would lose some of the clarity, because as soon as I opened up this phone, it was like having the two phones next to each other. They're just completely different classes of really quality. Yeah. So fortunately, I was glad that with the screen protector, that's not something that's getting sacrificed like I feel like it would with a lot of other ones. But overall, I like it. I thought I would be creeped out by the Face ID. But I'm not. It's really easy. It's really convenient. And now I'm having that like first world problem of like, oh no, I have my mask on and my phone won't open automatically.
So I gotta put in a pin. Like, oh. Yeah.
But I really like it, and it's working really well. It's really fun. I like the bigger screen. Honestly, like the case itself, that with this is just like a game changer. Because I've dropped my phone on, apparently I drop things a lot, just my phone. I would just like drop it on my face, or I'd do like selfies with my daughter and I would drop it on her face. And like, you don't feel like a good mom when you drop something on your kid's face.
Yeah.
That's better than falling asleep with an iPad Pro above your face.
This is why you kiss your cases.
I about concussed myself. It's just like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then also you are not using your phone on the stream today. You're using a different type of technology.
Yes, I recently got a Chromebook. So I'd had a Mac desktop for 6 years. And it's so slow that I never used it. There's like some utility issue and I just didn't feel like fixing it. And I only had it up for when I play D&D.
Yeah.
Or like occasionally need to print a Word document. So I finally was like, I need something else. So ended up getting, it's a Samsung, I don't know what kind it is, Chromebook. And I got one that was opened already from Best Buy. So it was like $100 cheaper. And I did the curbside pickup, which is great because I do not want to go inside anywhere right now.
Yep.
And it's been great. It's really different being on a Chromebook. Because personally, like I've only ever purchased MacBooks or like Mac like desktops. I had a MacBook in college. So, and at work I use like Windows. So to be on a Chromebook platform is just really different. So I was trying to like my first week, I was trying to use the Linux beta to get Steam working because Steam technically doesn't work on the Chromebook. But it's been fun to like figure it out and actually have a laptop because I haven't had a laptop since college, whenever that was. So it's been a while.
Yeah. So what made you decide to get a Chromebook and not something else Apple, since you already have an iPhone?
Apple is really expensive.
He said the way my bank account is set up.
Chrome. It was just the price point was really great, and honestly, I don't do a lot on my computer. I mostly just my cat is on my table now, so if I shake, it's not in an earthquake. It's my cat. I mostly am just doing this or playing Dungeons and Dragons or checking my email. Like I just do very little on my computer. And I think that's partially because I just haven't had a usable computer for so long. So my habits aren't like, I just don't need something high caliber. Yeah. And I used to do a lot of design work and I'm just not doing that anymore. So like I finally unsubscribed from like Adobe Creative Suite or Creative Cloud because I'm like,
you haven't been using it, so it makes sense.
Because I haven't been using it, and it's like $40 a month, and like if you're using it, it pays for itself. Yeah, because like you do one job a month, But if you're not using it, then that adds up really quickly.
And it
So,
has come such a long way. There's so many browser-based things that you can use now that kind of
yeah.
replaces the Adobe experience, especially if you're not doing anything extensive. So it's great.
Yeah. Like if I was actively designing all the time,
hmm
like I have at like previous jobs or even on the side, like in college, I would totally get a MacBook because that's what Adobe is built for.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense for where I am in my life right now. So
hmm And I forgot I had a question. I forgot. I'm trying to remember.
Hey, Jake's baby cakes.
Oh, hey, Jake Baby Cakes.
Bad market.
Don't wait for me.
I know. I'm reading
Oh, okay.
comment, and I'm like, have I never heard of back market? You know, I am good for finding a good deal.
I just have it in the box in my room right now. Someone could probably fix it and make it not suck.
Yeah, just make sure you clean it beforehand.
Right.
Get on my
Canva
papers that I've written.
I love Canva. Catwoman introduced me to Canva, and I use it for all of my thumbnails. Yay, Canva.
Canva is the best. I love it.
Are they subscription based, or is it like, do they have free and then okay?
They have free versions. So basically the reason why a lot of people go with the paid version is because you can have multiple brand palettes. So that way you don't have to put in the hex code for everything that you got to do. And then also it has different types of filters, like removing the background, doing glitch effects, things like that. But the free version is plenty when you want to get started or you just want to do something real quick. But yeah, the paid version is more extensive. I actually just paid a year's worth of Canva last week. Yeah, last week. So I'm excited. I've been using Canva a lot and it's really good.
Yeah, I feel like with all those kinds of apps, if you're using it, it's totally worth it. But if you're not using it, it's like you don't need
the free version will work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know so many fancy things.
Yeah, well, you do fancy stuff. You're our, our
that's your thing.
Our designer.
Oh,
if you would like to hire Miji, the link is in the description.
Thank you.
Cough, cough, wink, wink.
I wouldn't go far to say a designer. I like to make your brand you.
That's design.
Is it? Okay.
That's design.
Wonder what we call that.
Sorry.
You got to give yourself more credit.
Yes. Well, Miji struggles with that. That's why I kind of force her into it. Like, yes, this is you.
And you're good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Just embrace it.
The thumbnail was done with Canva.
Nice thumbnail.
I don't know. I'm going to have to download Canva and be like, it's okay. It's okay that I cut my Adobe cord. This is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Swarthy doesn't have a subscription. I don't either.
Yeah.
But she says, I have to pay $1 per image. That's premium. There's some stuff on there that's premium and some stuff that's not. So
yeah, they have, but the amount of free stuff on there is pretty robust compared to other things that I've used, like PicMonkey. I've tried all these different types of things, and Canva has been the best.
I feel like there's a lot of apps like that started off strong, and then to try to monetize, they just everything costs $1 here, $1 there, and then the quality just isn't great. So I have apps on my phone that I probably downloaded 7 years ago. It's trash. Why do I have this?
Yeah, and probably those apps aren't even around anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Or they're not being maintained.
It's not compatible with the latest version of iOS.
I'm a really good guest to have on a Gadget podcast because I'm really up to date on all the things.
Well, you'd be surprised. I watched somebody's review on something the other day, and they updated their system, and they had 500 and something apps. And I was like, I am a Gadget person. I do not have 500 plus apps on my phone.
In what universe do you need that?
If you never delete anything ever, then that's probably what you'll have on your phone.
I have about 200 apps, and I use them all.
Well, yeah, I can see you using them. I'll probably have close to that as well. But
500 though, I don't know if I could.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go. I like to go through periodically and delete some stuff. Like I've never used this.
Yeah. I just recently deleted the browser called Brave because I just haven't been using it.
I think I still have. Everybody praises DuckDuckGo. I don't think I've ever used it.
I've never used DuckDuckGo, but yeah.
I have it on my phone.
It's what Google used to be with no ads, just search.
Mm.
And it's they say it wasn't trackable, but I've noticed when certain people find my videos on DuckDuckGo, it'll tell me that it came in through DuckDuckGo. So I'm like, how is it not? Yeah, lying. Like there's some type of tracking.
So do you have that many apps on your phone?
Yes.
Look.
I have like 3 different types of meme apps, 2 different types of apps to create memes. I have 4 browsers because I like to check to see if when I'm doing my website, like how does it look like on this browser? So I do a lot of things.
So you've rocked.
It's not even 10 apps though.
You've rocked the chat. People are quoting how many apps they have now.
Yeah.
And
he has 50. Yeah, I have 200 apps.
I think I'm in the 100 category. I don't think I'm at 200. But Catwoman's a lot more. She's a lot more creative than I am.
I use my phone to the fullest. Like the reason why I can't get away from the Note is because of the S Pen. Like there's just so many things that I utilize it for. Is so great.
I guess looking at my phone, I put a lot of stuff in folders because I just don't like the visual clutter. I probably have around 100, but also with having an iPhone, Apple has all these apps that you can't delete. All these productivity. I'm like, I don't care about the stock market or I don't need a compass. I don't leave my house.
Yeah. But then also what sucks too is that sometimes these companies, they have these native apps that are great, but then they take away the feature. And so now you got to try to find a third-party app to do it. So for example, on my phone, I used to record my screen, but I didn't want to get notifications, not even going down, not even just at the top of the shade. I just didn't want any notifications. So there would be like a turn off all notifications. All of them would be turned off, right? But Samsung got rid of it. So I got this app called Zenty, Z like zebra, ENTY, and it does that for me. It just turns off all the apps. It prevents them from going to my notification shade. And then when I turn it back on, it tells me these are all the notifications that you missed.
There's not like a do not disturb option.
Do not disturb prevents it from showing up on your screen, but it's still in your notification shade.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is that when I'm doing tutorials or recording my screen, I don't want it to show up on my notification shade.
Miji, when you talk, I hear a slight. Well, I don't know if I'm hearing my echo or your echo, or I hear a slight echo. So when we go back and
hear it.
Yeah, I know we're halfway through this thing, but I just kind of noticed. But I did.
Okay. I'll put down my value. Let me turn off my mic.
I don't know. No, I still hear it. Maybe.
Is it me?
Well, the echo's gone now, is it? It's you.
I have on headphones.
I don't know.
That's weird. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm not talking then.
You're using different earbuds this time, right?
No, same ones I use every week.
Oh yeah, it's yours. It's yours.
Yeah.
Well.
Boom, boom, boom. Wait, well, it is on its last leg, so it's probably.
I used the other ones the other night. Well, last night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Either that or your mic is really sensitive right now, and it's like picking up the audio all the way from your earbuds.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll put it in the other ear. I did just turn my thingy down.
Yeah. So Raymond says he has 73 apps. That's not bad. That's
I feel like that's normal.
I'm not normal. No.
And I
Are
still
you-
have like most of my apps I still don't use regularly.
Is that better? No.
No, it's still there a little.
I'm sorry, I suck this week. Maybe I should try out your headphones.
Yeah.
But it's the same setup I've been using every week.
Yeah, I can hear it a lot more now. Probably because you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I brought attention to it.
Yeah. Well, Ray said he noticed it, so there you go.
I'm muted and I can hear it.
You're muted it now and you can hear it? Oh, I hear the echo now.
Am I echoing?
No.
Okay. Oh, I can hear it a little bit. This is gonna bother all of us.
Maybe it's StreamYard. I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
I feel a lot less guilty now.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm muted. I can still hear echo. But I've turned my mic down. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. Sorry for the echo. How about that?
Yeah. So let's get into some articles. All right. First article. It says, "What's next for social media after Trump? Plus the lie of laziness." This is by NPR. And you can actually listen to the article instead of just reading it. And I listened to it. It was really good.
Yeah. So this is the podcast, so they don't have the full transcript.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I first listened to it because the lie of laziness just sounded really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But they have a really good conversation at the beginning about basically a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, what's the future of policing the internet, and what are the ground rules in terms of like free speech and censoring and all of that.
What is free speech, and also kind of like Section 230 that protects internet. So, Ray says he listens to NPR.
I love NPR.
I actually don't listen to NPR, but after listening to this, I really like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and listen to it.
I have coworkers that live by it. Like, I walk past the desk and I can hear it playing.
I don't listen to music in the car. I listen to NPR, and I listen to it on my Alexa. I don't want her to wake up. Like whenever I'm cooking, I'll always play my local station. I'm like such an NPR nerd.
Cool.
But their podcasts and stuff are really, really great because they're usually very niche focused, and they're just always well done. But yeah, the conversation that they had with their tech correspondents about what banning Trump from Twitter, the implications of that, and what conversations it brings back to social media and as platforms, what their responsibility is in hosting content.
Yeah, I think it is a really big implication because it wasn't just only Twitter, because it was all the other social media apps. And I know that they were even clowning. They're like, why did Trump have a Pinterest account? Like, I thought it was hilarious. Because I'm like,
gonna worry about that with that man penning. He can pen if he want to.
Oh yeah. But then, like, it felt like everybody was taking their cues from Twitter, and then once Twitter did it, everybody else was like, "Oh, we're allowed to do this? Okay."
Yeah, but they were very like, "Oh no, we just decided it was time because of what happened on the 6th, because of the siege that happened on the 6th, but it wasn't because we're following what Twitter did." But it's like, I don't believe you. Okay.
Oh, I don't believe them either. Yeah. Not at all. And I think the correspondents in the podcast had a really good point of Trump was going to be in office for 2 more weeks. So what's he going to do? And the people in charge of legislation for the next couple of years are all Democrats. So they're trying to just like sweet talk their way in with the Dems, being like, look what we did to your worst enemy. We took him off the things.
Yeah.
But if it was really about him inciting violence and hate, this should have been done so long ago.
I saw a tweet too around the time his Twitter got banned, and it said, well, okay, thank you for deleting Trump. What about all these other dictators that have Twitter accounts? Are we going to get rid of those as well? Yeah. Because they're actually committing war crimes and actual civil rights violations actively currently, like, so what's going to happen with that? So it's kind of like keep the same energy basically,
Yeah,
but there's such
definitely.
a nuance to it. And then another thing that they were talking about as well is how Amazon um was no longer hosting Parlor on
Mm,
their hosting site. And yes, Parlor can just buy their own server, hook it up to their own ISP, and just host their website that way. But they were saying like, okay, these tech companies kind of have too much power, because when you go on the internet, usually like what's the site that comes up? It's Google. It's some type of search engine. You
mhm,
wouldn't think to go to a certain website. So it's kind of like it's like kind of like the homepage to the actual internet.
mm,
But what I also would like to say is that this is a nuanced situation. I understand that people are like, okay, I'm worried about my freedom of speech, and what if they stifle good dialogue? Um, but what happened on the 6th was a direct action of the fact that they were all communicating together via
yeah.
the internet. It was a coordinated effort. It wasn't just,
Mhm.
okay, we were all there and then we just all went. Like,
Yeah.
there was that was a lot of people to mobilize.
Yeah.
So it had to happen digitally. And that's one of the things that they found, that through Parlor
Mhm.
and other types of platforms, they were able to mobilize and then go to the White House and, unfortunately try to kill the people in Congress.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of like new tech, as soon as it drops, any kind of new tech, I remember when social media first dropped, and like I was out of college by then, but they were saying college parties would go from 0 to 100 because somebody would post, "Hey, there's a party over here."
Yep.
Mm,
Everybody
mhm.
would flock to said party, and it'd be 200-300 people there because
Yes.
they saw it on social media. We're always a step behind when it comes to policing and making laws and things when it pertains to the internet or
Mhm.
electronic type stuff because we're
Yeah.
not ready for it.
Well, and it's such a how it's an intangible thing with tangible repercussions.
Yeah.
Right.
And when the internet started, like I highly doubt they ever thought that it would evolve into what it is now, where essentially it's necessary, as we've seen with the pandemic. It's a piece of our infrastructure, and
Yeah.
yet it's not monitored like infrastructure, and it's also not funded like infrastructure because it's all like private businesses.
Yeah.
So it's just its own beast with how it's been created, and yet it's not it's not an extra. You pretty much are required to have the internet if you're gonna like be a citizen in our country these
Yeah.
days. Like even like kids in kindergarten are streaming, like they have to Google Meet into their classrooms.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
And,
Google Meet.
and yet there's like only DSL in some parts of the country. Like
Yeah.
how is that a thing? So I think all of this is so interconnected of how the internet and social media by extension has evolved over time. Yeah.
Yeah. Having social media is basically like having a internet ID. Before,
Yeah.
our internet ID used to be our emails, but
Mm.
the emails are kind of so anonymous right now that you're only really a person until you get a social
Mhm.
media account and you put your picture up on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know so many people that I see Jake's Baby Cakes is talking about, it's impossible to have no social media now. And I know people who don't like Big Brother watching that they still have social media because you need it.
Yep, you need it to be able to
Mm.
communicate. It's a massive way that we communicate right now. But not only that, it's a very important way to make money now.
Mm.
Especially right now in a pandemic, a lot of people are turning to technology to survive, to eat, to have their utilities. So when they got rid of net neutrality, I was really, really upset, because first it took a long time to even get it. And when we got it, it was so good. Like, I remember experiencing the internet like a year after net neutrality, and it was so much better. Like, my internet
Mm.
was way more stable. And since they got rid of net neutrality, it's kind of like there was pockets of people having bad service, or people's services being monitored. Like there was a point in time where when the pandemic started, a lot of people were working from home and they were using VPNs, but Comcast already had it set to where if you use a VPN, then you can't get on the internet. So they had to turn that off during the pandemic. And they're starting to throttle people's internet. And I'm starting to experiencing that now. So I know that a lot of people were saying that they were being throttled. And now I'm starting to experience it now. So I really hope that net neutrality comes back. But I am not against having some type of legislation and quote unquote policing, because there's a lot of protections that are being had by having these types of things. Like, for example, when I created my website, I did a lot of research about what I needed to do in order to make sure that it was legally good. I had to have a privacy policy. I had to have terms and conditions. Well, people are going to be paying me with their credit card. I need to make sure to have SSL on. So there's some type of encryption and protection there. Not only that, but I spell out in the terms and conditions how to properly use the website. What are the types of implications? What are the types of things that are not allowed? So that doesn't only protect me as a person that has a business, but this protects whoever wants to do business with me. They have that security to know that there is, it isn't just a transaction that's going to be done willy-nilly. But it wasn't like that just 5 years ago. You could just start up a website. You didn't have a privacy policy. It didn't matter if there was SSL, and your payment go through, and it's just like it was kind of almost like the Wild Wild West. So that was one of the great things about GDPR and the regulations that happened in California. So Jay will ask a question. And we're blocking Emily. So he said, do you all think we will see a real change in the next 10 years? Some or most young people use the internet totally for all the wrong reasons. How can we get the young people 40 down in check?
Well, I'm glad to see I'm not young, number one.
What does that mean, though? I feel like I need more clarity, because in my mind, like, the internet's a tool. The internet itself, like, do you see that the internet is there for a specific, like, principle or purpose?
I would assume I understand what he's saying. Like when he says for all the wrong reasons, like a lot of them, I'm sure some of them are using it for right reasons.
Yeah.
What's an example of wrong reason? I need an example.
A lot of kids doing remote learning now are on YouTube when they should be doing school. Like that's the wrong reason.
Well, entertainment, yeah, basically like entertainment when you're not supposed to be entertaining yourself. That's a wrong reason. But
or seeking out information that's not something you probably should be looking up, you know?
Yeah. I think that real change will happen within 10 years. It has to, because the internet has become such an intricate part in our life that we can no longer avoid it. We can't just say, oh, what happens on the internet is not real. Yeah, what happens on the internet is real.
I have a concern here with the TikTok thing too, but I have concerns with kids on social media, period, when they're young.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you have predators, and this is just like, oh, they're kids in candy stores now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about like kid content on the internet. Even just like sharing pictures of kids on like Facebook. I feel like there's such two extremes of how people treat social media, particularly with children. It's like either they share every intimate detail of their potty training journey, like, or they have like a private lockdown Facebook group that's like secret that only certain people are invited to that can see their kids' pictures. And
my thing with Facebook in general, and I guess I see a lot of what Jay sees, because Facebook never goes away. So if you delete your Facebook, all that stuff is still stored in Facebook. So to say, hey, I have a private group on Facebook, I'm like, and
it's not private. It's not really private.
It's not.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, I think it gets back to also what Leanne was saying, but like underage kids on TikTok, like they're not really understanding what the implications of what they're publishing is. And even with parents, like there's a lot of like really like internet illiterate parents out there that are just like pushing their kids' content online. And
we can make money off of this.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
even my daughter, she's 4 years old, right? She like took my phone yesterday. She's going around our apartment being like, and this is our cat. She's a pirate cat because she has 2 eye patches. Like she was like hamming it up. It was so adorable. And I'm like, I got to cut this, like publish this. This is great. And I'm like, wait, she's 4 years old. Like, I'm not going to become like a theater mom, but like whatever the internet version of this is. Like, oh my gosh. That's true too. Like my grandparents.
Yeah, I was gonna say the older people like, oh, I've won $1 million. You need to wire me this money. Hold on, let me get my account information.
Oh, and there's so much misinformation that's getting shared. Like I can't even tell you how many times there have been arguments in my family because of someone like sharing a post that's you could easily just look up on Snopes. And it's like, no,
that used to be my site. That was my go-to. Now with Michael Pepper's thing about Clubhouse, we've gotten all the way off topic because we got like 8 minutes and we got like 3 or 4 more articles. Yeah. But either way, with Clubhouse, that's the invite kind of situation. So if somebody invited that child on Clubhouse, both accounts would go.
Yeah. So they're not.
I don't even know what that is. So I'm clearly no. I just think like even. I know it's different than the kind of like predatory situation, but I know like my daughter, she watches this kid Ryan on
Ryan's Toys Reviews. Yep.
And I'm like, this kid is like making bank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you in like 5th grade? Yeah. Like good for him, but also like, are these going to be like the next generation of like Disney Channel stars who like
it's an outlier situation, especially when he created his channel before COPPA rules were cracked down on YouTube. So that kind of success, it will happen again. Like there will be another Ryan's Toys Reviews, but the amount of people who actually try to groom their child to be YouTube celebrities or TikTok celebrities, it doesn't really work out. It's just kind of like Hollywood. You know?
Yeah, and it's like the viral kids that like the videos that will go viral, then they'll go on Good Morning America, and then they'll like you'll never see them again. But it's like that poor child that's gonna like have this shoved in their face by their peers for how many years afterwards.
But the same thing happens to children in Hollywood. It's not a specific thing that only happens in social media. But the problem with is that you're doing this in social media, so now there's a parasocial relationship because there's kind of almost kind of like that communication. People
are so much more accessible.
Yes, and they're prone to be more not creepy. What were you gonna show?
Snopes is still a thing. They got your boy Trump on the front page.
Okay.
As I should.
Snopes still exists.
As a person. Yeah. I think about this a lot because I have my daughter and I want to share videos and pictures of her because they bring me joy and they make me laugh and smile. But then at the same time, it's like, she's also too young to consent for me to share these things about her and her life. And I want to honor her personhood and autonomy. So I think that's also a generational thing too. I feel like people like parents in their 40s treat social media with their kids very differently than like I'm in my 20s and I grew up with like MySpace was the thing when I was in middle school. So my relationship with social media and the internet is pretty different than other parents. But so that's on my mind a lot.
Yeah. My daughters are 13 and before I post a picture of them online, I ask them. Whereas before I wouldn't ask them, I would just post it online. But I know that I didn't post as often as I saw other people would post, probably just like bigger events or if I felt like some type of significant thing happened. But as they got older and I would have these conversations with them, they straight up told me, I don't like it when you post videos of me. I don't like it when you post pictures of me. So if I do take a picture, it just goes right in my hard drive, you know?
Yeah, I have like a shared iCloud album with my family of pictures and videos. But I post very little on social media. I'll post more on stories on Instagram because they like theoretically go away or just to my close friends. But yeah, it's just such an interesting dynamic. I pretty much never post on Facebook,
Yeah.
but I also don't really like Facebook.
But I think that I kind of see the internet the way that I see real life. If a
Mm,
person is going to do something illegal on the internet, they're going to do something illegal in real life too. Like
yeah.
that's probably a compulsion that they'll kind of already have.
Mhm.
The internet is just another extension of the real world. And that's just something that we can't
Yeah.
deny.
It's a
And
tool.
yes,
Yeah.
and kind of how we have rules and regulations and protections in the physical world, it does need to transfer over to the digital world. But the most important thing that we need to do is be informed, be involved and engaged, and actually challenge and read. Like
Mhm.
we need to, we've learned definitely within the past 4 years that we cannot be silent, we cannot be idle, we cannot just go with the flow. We have to participate, we have to be active. And it's hard because we're in this rat race. We're all just trying to survive. We're all trying to, at the end of the day, just decompress from the stress that we have of everyday
Mm.
life. But unfortunately, we cannot afford to sit idly by anymore. We need to educate ourselves and we need to be active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preach it.
We need to have those conversations no matter how hard they are.
Yeah.
Whether it is that you need to give yourself a reality check or you need to
Mm.
give someone else a reality check, we cannot afford to just be quiet anymore.
Yeah. And I think ways that you can even engage that without necessarily like talking to your representatives or whatever is when you see questionable content that's getting posted by someone that you know, like that's like your job to call out that person if they're if you're in their life
Yes.
and you see that it's wrong, like that's on you.
Yeah.
Like you got to take care of your people and point out like what is or is not okay and explain it. And
Yeah.
granted, like not everybody's going to be receptive to that. Like, and you might lose a friend or something, or might get awkward family reunions afterwards. But
Mm-hmm.
like,
But what's worse though? The worst
right?
part is just letting them go astray,
Yeah,
letting
yeah,
them be a part of the problem.
yeah. Even like if you see like a family member who posts a picture of their child and it's just like that's not a very flattering picture of your kid. Like, would you want a picture like that posted of you?
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's okay? Like, just I don't know, things like that. I think it's good to just at least keep those dialogues open.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Communication is key.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Jay Will said, I only use social media for things for things about tech and my channel. I don't want anyone knowing about my personal life online. I showed 2 of my daughters online in an iPhone video and those perverts came out. Wow, that is so sad. That's horrible.
Yes.
But that's also the thing about the internet is that it is a voluntary process for the most part. It's like we choose what side we want people to see of us. We do have that.
You curate your image.
Exactly.
Which is like a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, of course, people are like, oh, this person is fake or whatever. But to be honest with you, everybody has their bad days. Everybody has their good days. No one is perfect. But we need to set these type of boundaries. It's very, very important. And we need to have these types of conversations.
Yeah.
So I really am thankful for this podcast, this NPR 35-minute podcast that you sent me because I am following this very, very closely. Not only net neutrality, but also what type of legislations are they going to start conjuring up now because they can't avoid it anymore.
Yeah. And it's so complex too, because these companies, they're private companies.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, like when people are saying free speech, but like you're agreeing to terms and conditions.
Yes.
And you're opting into like essentially a private business. Like you're not in a public space technically. It's the same thing as being in a place of business, and they have a right to refuse service.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really hard tension to navigate, especially because like these are private entities and yet they are treated as infrastructure because they essentially are.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's different from you saying you're stifling what I want to say versus if you're the owner of something. is completely different. So before I
Mhm.
had the website that I have right now, I had a different type of website, and the infrastructure was more kind of like a community based message
Mhm.
board and stuff. But then I had to delete all that. I had to get rid of it because um yes, I know that Section 230 is there to protect platforms for from what users say, but the bottom line is, if people are going to have certain types of conversations, I'm going to be responsible at the end of the day. I need to
Yeah,
own
because
it.
if it's your community or a platform that you're hosting, so my hands look very large right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Twitter made the decision that they did to ban Trump. Some people agree with it, some people don't. I agree with what they did. What is going to come next is going to be very important, and we all need to pay
Mhm.
attention.
Hear, hear.
Yeah. Should we go to the next article?
I
I
don't
talk a
know.
lot. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
we can
That's
we can
why I
choose
didn't say anything. I was like, if I add to it, we'll be 2 hours in.
I
And
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
too much too.
yeah. Should we ask the chat? Like, what is that you guys want? Should we continue on with the other articles, or should we just like stop? Because we don't want to inundate you guys as well. So Jay Will said, I just want to say, Gigi and Tech Valor, I like this side of you. I love this type of video. God bless you. And you too, Emily. Hashtag grownups. Thank you. Appreciate
but
it.
Emily's one of these younger people you were talking about.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. She's under 40.
Very
I'm
much
under
under
40
40.
too, actually. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. Oh, yeah. I always lump you in with me, and I know you're younger than me. So yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
only old. I'm the only old person on the panel. So
Yeah.
I'm the youngin.
Yes.
I'm the olden.
I'm the medium.
Well, Sharky says keep going. If y'all can't stay, we kind of understand because we're usually an hour. I will tell you that Tech King Mike is not streaming tonight, so
Oh, okay. Not okay.
I received a message from him. So we're
Okay.
gonna. Everybody says keep going. We
All
got
right.
LA's
three.
in.
Yeah, yeah. So Michael Pepper said, Tech Valor, same goes with our comment sections. People don't always remove things they should and allow it to damage their reputation. Yeah, I do hear that rhetoric a lot when people are like, no, I let them keep going because if they're fighting, that's just engagement. But then if, for example, you are a brand and you're letting those types of negative conversations fester, it almost kind of means that you align with it. And so a company might look at your comment section and make that decision and say, we're not going to work with you at this point in time. Or they might say, yeah, we'll work with you, but that's the risk that you're willing to take.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that too goes back to the idea of like inaction is complicity.
Yeah.
So by just letting that happen, you're part of the problem. Unless you don't see a problem with hate speech, but I
Yeah.
personally don't like it and
Yeah.
think it's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you don't say anything about it,
Mhm.
it kind of makes you seem like you are complicit, like you said.
Yeah.
So there is this singer, her name is Amy Allen. And I found her music through one of my favorite shows of all time called Birds of Prey. The theme song of that one is called Start a Revolution, but she has another song called Silence is Violence. And I
Mm.
highly recommend anybody that has time to listen to that song because, yes, it is about relationship. But when I was listening at it at the time, I wasn't in a relationship, but I was thinking about just the relationships that I have with my friends and with my people around me. And I really resonated with the lyrics that were on there. And so that phrase that she coined, silence is violence. Yeah,
Mm.
I agree with it. I do.
I just wrote her name down. I'll link
Okay. Okay, Jake's baby cakes. Thanks for coming through.
it.
Most people said can carry on. So our next article.
Yes. So our next article, Microsoft, Oracle, and other tech giants team up COVID vaccine passports. Yeah. So the companies that have actually teamed up is Microsoft, Salesforce, Oracle, CERN, Cigna, which I think is really interesting that Cigna is doing this.
Yeah.
They just got bought by MetLife, so
I think only part of their business got
okay, only
I
part.
think only their absence stuff got bought by New York Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether they'll stay that name or not, or whether that will part of
Yeah.
it is the is COVID part of the absence program, that remains to be seen. But I think that these tech companies do have the infrastructure to be able to create a passport. One of the major things is obviously security. Oracle is really good with
Mhm.
that. But again, these are private companies. Not to knock private companies, but they're obviously in it because they need to make a profit. And sometimes when it's just about making the profit, the quality is not there. That's the only thing that I'm worried about.
But people are going to see the convenience. I can use this when I'm taking a flight. It's going to have my documentation of when I was vaccinated and I'm COVID free.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was cool to see that many companies actually coming together to work on something rather than competing against each other. They're seeing the need to make this compatible across so many platforms.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for travel; it's for medical record, like for medical purposes and all this stuff. So I was excited about it.
Yeah. It is exciting.
This is where I slide in my off-topic comment. So I don't know how many people heard this today. I heard it on the news. I don't normally watch the news, but there was a big uproar online because New Jersey had released information that, hey, smokers will be able to get the vaccination because they're they're in the at-risk category before most of the general public.
Yeah.
And they said, people who chose not to smoke are like, well, why the heck did they get it before?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like what I also heard though is that they're not actually really verifying if you're a smoker. That you could just say I'm a smoker and just like get it. Because I think that they were trying to also address issues with people being like anti-vax in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's New Jersey. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's a universal concern because our news did a check and they said, according to CDC, the regulations, smokers are high risk. So if your state goes by what the CDC has put out, then these people get bumped ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because of a choice that they made.
One thing to consider though is that if someone is a smoker, they have other ailments as well. So a lot of like whether I'm not gonna say asthma, but they usually are higher risk of having some type of heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, I think for these people, it's not going to be like a completely healthy person and they only smoke. They usually have something else.
But what about the casual smokers that say, hey, I just have a cigar when I drink? Or,
I drink?
Yeah.
But I'm saying you will have some healthy smokers is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, everybody who smokes is not dying of cancer.
I don't think it's a perfect system, but I get it. They just want to make sure they're not missing everyone that
I can see
higher risk,
and I can see why people were pissed off because it's completely different when you chose to do something and when you're born with something that you have no control over.
Yeah. But the same thing could be said about obesity. It's like some people are obese because of medical problems or they're on certain types of medications, but some people just choose not to eat healthy. But that doesn't negate the fact that they have certain types of ailments that's going to put them ahead of everyone else, like heart disease, diabetes, me being one of them,
Yeah, I get that. And like they had to switch our whole health thing around at work because people were threatening to sue because if you weren't under the, what do they call it, BMI of a certain number, you paid more.
Yep.
And that's the same thing.
There's just certain things I can't get around because I'm obese. Morbidly obese. You know?
It's funny they have these fatter and fattest and super fat. Like it's like, okay, most Americans are overweight. Let's just look at it that way. I am definitely overweight, obese, whatever category you want. Put me in. But if you put me next to certain other people, you're like, oh well, you carry your weight differently. Just because I carry it differently doesn't mean I don't weigh what I weigh.
Yeah. Well, and also on the other side of that too, like I'm considered underweight and I have a ton of health problems because of that. Like I had malnourishment issues for most of my life and like vitamin deficiencies and all this stuff. So there's a lot of like sizeism and like very unhealthy diet culture behind a lot of that. But
but also another thing that I want to talk about, like the CDC doesn't just only think about the United States, it thinks about the world as a whole. And though in the United States, our tobacco smoking has decreased significantly since the 80s. In other countries, it's not like that. For example, India, they have a really, really bad smoking problem, and China as well. So those people, it would be hard to find a casual smoker. It's more like
it's just a part of life. Yeah, when I went to Israel and Jordan, it was like you would just see so many like just hookahs. People would just be smoking hookahs on the side of the road, and that's just like what you do. It's just part of normal life there.
Yeah, I think Monica, you should be first in line for a shot.
You should already have it.
I agree.
Okay, so with this, you have your security concerns or whatnot. You do have a lot of companies coming together, but there will always be breaches, people.
And even with government stuff, there's breaches.
For sure.
Like what happened recently with I don't remember the name of the company, but a company got hacked that had access to government documents.
Right.
Back end for at least 3 months. So,
I don't know. I'm kind of the mind that if it's electronic somewhere, it's nothing is 100% safe. Nothing is 100% secret.
Not even paper either, because there were people that were getting fake COVID test results so that they can circumvent the.
Yes.
So Jay Will said, not smoking, not drinking, no drugs. Take care of yourself, peep. You get just one temple. Be kind to it. Yeah, very true.
This pandemic's been hard, though.
Yeah.
So let's go into next article. We have 2 more.
Yes. All right. So it says WhatsApp delays new privacy policy as users flee to rival apps. I don't know.
WhatsApp part 3, people. We've been talking about this for 3 weeks now.
So the funny thing is, like, they probably thought, like, oh, and people ain't gonna leave us.
We'll probably have another update next week. So
right. But they have to understand people have already downloaded Signal, and what's the other one?
Telegram.
So people, Telegram. They're like, oh, well, screw you, WhatsApp and WhatsApp. Like, where's everybody going? Come back. Oh, headphone gone.
I find it really interesting though that it's making that much of an impact on their business, because I'm like, I don't care really about that stuff. Like, I'm just like, okay, it's an app. I'm going to use it or I'm not going to use it. I don't really think twice about the privacy stuff.
Well, the problem is the fact that WhatsApp is going to be now linked to Facebook.
But I feel like everybody has a Facebook. Like,
everyone does have a Facebook, but what they were under the impression is that though WhatsApp was bought by Facebook, their servers are separate and that it will remain its own entity and that they wouldn't be merged. The same thing was thought about with Instagram, but that's not the reality. Like,
because people voiced these concerns when they said they were buying them. They're like, oh no, you'll still have your 3 separate apps, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, all of a sudden you get this, your stuff is integrating, like
Instagram by Facebook.
Yes.
So the reason why people are so wary about Facebook, and I just want to remind everyone, I'm trying to remember the name of the company, but back in 2016, when the election was going on, it was founded that Trump used Facebook heavily in order to basically manipulate the public's perception about him through fake information. What is the name of it? It started with a C.
Well, even with you just making that statement there, I will say a lot of people believe everything they see online. I have had to tell people, please fact check your information. Just because somebody told you something, if you didn't hear it or you hear it with your own ears or see it with your own eyes, it could very well not be what you thought it was, you know?
Yeah.
I saw a beer truck in somebody's living room today on my way home from work. I was like, how did that
Oh,
happen?
Leanne's got it.
Yes,
Cambridge
Cambridge
Analytica.
Analytica. Yes, because yes, so Cambridge Analytica was taking information from Facebook and weaponizing it to basically alter the outcome of the elections through misinformation. Like just straight up misinformation. So the amount of power that they had just by getting it was a third party app that was just getting information from Facebook, and they were a company that was basically a marketing company, and Trump used it to basically help him campaign for the 2016
I
election.
remember that. Yeah, that feels
Yeah.
like an eternity ago.
Yes, yeah. But that is the main reason why there was the delete your Facebook hashtag, and
Yeah.
people that had Samsung phones realized that you can't even delete the Facebook app at all out of your phone. And um that's why a lot of people don't want their information on Facebook. Yes, a lot of people who have created Facebook accounts knows that their information is not deleted, but moving forward, they don't mess with it that much, or they
Mm,
are curated, like the word that you used, Emily.
yeah.
So that is the problem with WhatsApp. People don't want their information being funneled through Facebook, which I think this is conspiratorial, speculatory. In 2020 and 2019, when Facebook had a lot of those blackouts, I don't I personally don't think that it was because someone was attacking Facebook. I think it's because Facebook was working on the infrastructure to reroute all of the data from Instagram and WhatsApp to their servers, because they were trying to combine it. And by doing so, there was some type of glitch. That's what I believe actually happened. Because I noticed that if I go to Instagram on my browser and I click on an image and I make it big, and let's say I want to download that image, you could do it with the inspect tool and basically get the link to the image. But the fave icon is no longer an Instagram fave icon. It's the Facebook fave icon, which means that that picture is not being stored in Instagram's database, it's being stored in Facebook's database.
I'm so Facebook illiterate. I remember one day I went in and I was looking at pictures that I had liked, and it was showing like off to the side. These were pictures that I had liked, but other people could see all the pictures that I had liked. And
Yes.
some of them I had liked for reasons just because I'm silly and you just have to know my sense of humor. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, if somebody saw that I liked this,
Yeah, like without context. It's like,
all kinds
ooh.
of judgment is going to be passed. So I was
Oh,
like, yeah,
I've had that happen to me.
I
Yeah.
am so anti Facebook. Like I use it to promote my, YouTube and stuff, but outside of that, and
Yeah.
keep in touch with family. But outside of that, no.
Yeah. You have to be basically the way that you have to use Facebook now. It's like only things that you would really want everybody to know.
Yeah, things you're willing to yell out in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bionic Scoop said, Michael Pepper, I literally had one where I was adding context to a photo article and it said the photo had no context. Yeah. So Sharky said
Oh.
Cambridge. I'm so sorry. Okay. Cambridge micro targeted conservative voters in battleground states using Facebook by promoting Trump and spreading lies and disinfo about Hillary and other folks. Yeah. Yeah. Bionic Scoop says claims in the photo were I don't know why I can't say that word.
Unsubstantiated.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I know which picture you're talking about. And you did, like, you were explaining the whole situation. They were like, wrong information, no context. I'm like, that bot does not know how to read. So Michael Pepper said the Bionic Scoop. That makes more sense. Problem is you could do that, but how few people will be informed from what you say because sites like to hide that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they kind of have to because they need to protect people. Even like the Google ads on people's websites, it used to take a lot of information, but because of GDPR and the California protections law, Google had to cut down a lot on what type of information the cookies was grabbing out of people's computers and tracking. LaShawn said, "You sound like Catwoman."
You sound like me, Catwoman.
Oh, I sound like you. Yeah. Well, you're saying my name, Miguelina.
No, he's saying like his struggle to read when you were struggling to read a minute
Oh,
ago.
that time in the
It went
street.
completely over your head. We're wrapping it up. It's one more article.
Yeah.
My brain. Okay. All right. So this one is Jack Dorsey says Trump's Twitter ban was right decision, but worries about precedent.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of covered.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's kind of like the
this.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even need to go over this article.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I really like the dialogue that we had today.
Me too.
I slid to keep the same energy in the middle, so I just kind of put the banner up when you said it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about holding people accountable for their actions,
Mhm.
basically, that is keep the same energy. Because if you want to stand in one corner and be that way, you need to remain in that corner and not straddle the fence. I'm not saying you have to pick a side in life and say, okay, I'm all this direction. And because I tell people all the time, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, since people want to talk politics lately. I'm not in either bucket. I voted on both sides. So to sit here and say, okay, you just feel that way because you're a Democrat. No, I'm not.
No.
So, but if I feel passionate about something, I'm not going to feel passionate about it today and not feel passionate about it tomorrow. My feelings are my feelings, but I know who I am. And I know some people don't.
Yeah.
They're getting a feel for where they want to be and who they want to surround themselves with. So maybe this is more of a keep the same energy or figure out what your energy is.
That's
And sometimes you can figure out your energy in quiet ways.
Yeah.
Yell it out.
Yeah.
The whole universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm all for. I'm hoping. It's funny. I was leaving the dentist today, and he says, well, because my dentist is on vacation because he worked through all of COVID, like he was doing emergencies and everything. And this substitute dentist was like, I hope you have a good 2021 and I hope it's quiet.
Oh, that's really good. I like that.
I feel that.
That's a really good well wish. Yeah.
And he says, I feel like yesterday was a good start. He didn't say anything outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was a good feeling though, because he was well, I hate saying it, but he was super old. Like he said he had retired. So he's one of these like they brought doctors back. I guess they brought dentists back too. So he was a lot older, but he remembered he was talking about some of my dental work. And he was like, who did this? And he remembered my dentist who has retired because he made great money. One of my dentists before the dentist I have now, he knew him. So I was like, yeah, you've been in the game a minute.
I feel like no matter who you are and like where your political allegiances are, I feel like nobody wants to do 2020 again.
No.
Like everybody's exhausted. And we're all like, we need a collective like month-long nap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just pay everybody to sleep. Like, just be great.
Let's do like some of these other countries where they take vacation, where the whole country takes vacation for like a
or
month.
just like you actually get vacation.
Oh yeah.
Like what? That'd be nice.
Right now, who is it? Southwest is running a special, and I was like, well, they would run a special now at $50 flights for their anniversary. Now through May, and I'm like, I'm not getting on nobody plane now through May. Y'all crazy?
No, that's why it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Yeah.
Give me your pennies.
Oh, look at y'all come in all late. We about to leave. What's up?
And friend.
Yeah. And friend. Hey, Easy.
Easy. You're late.
Well, I wanted to say something else. One of the things that I've experienced so far in my life is that other people's politics and other people's beliefs affects me. So I just did, I got my citizenship, being able to finally have a voice in the United States in February of 2020. If I had waited just a little bit later,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I would have been able to have gotten my citizenship.
Mm.
It's crazy, but the way that other people move affects other people. Not only um not only the way that they think, not only their feelings, but are they going to be able to survive? Because one of the reasons why I was able to have my citizenship was because other people before me said, "Hey, this person has the right to be here
Mm.
and participate."
And that's what a lot of what I look at as a Black female and rights to vote. You know, being a woman having the right to vote, being
Yep.
a Black woman having the right to vote. Like, I will never take those things for granted. I'll always
Mm.
exercise my rights because I don't have to have them.
Yeah.
Mm.
And all my life I've been listening to politics, paying attention to what people are saying closely, because I'm like, is this what is going to be passed today? Is this going to be them saying that I gotta go? Are they gonna kick me out
Mm.
now? You know?
Ugh.
And
Yeah.
really my life was in someone else's hands.
Yeah.
But to be able to finally go to the poll and knowing that even though it's just one vote, it made a difference.
Mm. I
think a
remember
lot.
when I asked our like group at work like what people's voting plans were, because like clearly I'm a politics nerd. I'm like all about this, and I'm just assuming that you're gonna vote.
Yeah.
And I remember like you're like, I got my chair, I'm ready to wait in my long line. Like
Yes.
I don't care the weather. We're gonna do this.
I got my battery bank.
And I love that. I love that. And the fact I think you just embody so much of like it is a privilege.
It is.
To be able to vote, and because it's something that you just got, you understand that so much more clearly than I do, and probably a lot of other people do. That it's just like, well, yeah, I live here, so like I don't know if I'm gonna vote this time. I don't know, like.
And let me tell you, that citizenship test is hard.
Yeah, I've
Like
heard.
I had to
The average
remember.
American cannot pass it.
No,
not-
I had to remember a lot of things. I was studying for 3 months. Like I had so much anxiety. And it was funny because at the same time that I was studying for that, my daughters were going through civics. So we were learning it at the same time. It was
That's
so,
so cool though.
yeah, it was. And the
So
thing that
this,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. I was going to say this is one of the reasons why I feel a lot of people don't know what goes on and things of that nature. And when Savage said this, I know I don't know if they changed it here, but we had somebody who was arrested who was like a politician, and he was charged with a felony. He served time and came out and voted, and he was charged with voting.
Voter fraud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you weren't.
That's something that's hardly ever charged, but they charged him because he went and voted. So, you know, felons usually don't have the right to vote, and a lot of people don't know the ins and outs. They don't know what their politicians represent. They just go and vote for a name. So even if you don't vote for president, you need to learn what your local people represent and who represents you the best.
Yeah. The felons thing I think is super interesting too, because I think that's another piece of just basic like white supremacism that is baked into this country of like people of color, and like
because that's what you had.
They're the ones that are filling up the prisons. Like if I was charged with a crime that you were charged with, like I would probably be fine. And it's just because of the way that I look. And like that's just the way that our justice system has been working for so long. So when your prisons are just filled and filled and filled with like mostly Black men, and then you strip them of their rights to vote, and then they're living in areas of basically like rich white people and then people with records.
Yeah. Not only that, but when they come out of jail, they served their time. And
Yeah.
now you're saying them, you served your time.
But it's
You
not
know-
enough.
Yeah, it's like, but you don't have a voice. That's so horrible.
I
Yeah.
really don't like this statement only because this is why a lot of people choose not to vote
Mhm.
because they say it's rigged. So,
Okay, there's always going to be anomalies of things that don't make sense, right? But overall, it was not. I don't believe that it was rigged.
Well, and if you, all you can do is control yourself and like do your part.
Mhm.
And if you're at least going and voting for someone, then you're at least doing something. I feel like I'm very much of the mind, like if you're going to complain about something, then do something about it. So like if you're going to complain about the state of our world and our country or your state or your town, then do something about it.
Yeah.
And as long as you have the right to vote, then do it.
Yeah, it's not futile. It's not futile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a thought and I lost it. Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's a lot of the reason that people say, well, I'm just not going to vote because my vote don't count no way.
I mean, like, I live in Massachusetts, right? So I knew, like, and I voted for Biden, and I knew if I didn't vote, he was still going to win Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But also for I took my daughter with me, and I wanted her to see. I took her with me when she was an infant, and I voted 4 years ago. Like, I want her to know that this is something that I value and find really important. And also, like, I've learned as I'm like becoming a more educated voter that local elections, those are the things that impact your life more than anything else. So, I mean, like, even our governor, Charlie Baker, like, he voted, but he didn't vote for president. Like, he left his presidential section blank, which I have feelings about, but he still voted for the other things. So you can still show up and like share your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, that being said, I guess it's time to wrap up, right?
Yes.
Now that you've had your civics lessons. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Emily. You're so
Thanks for
awesome.
having me. You guys are great.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good
welcome
too.
again.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have you
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
So you have to make dinner. I've enjoyed your perspectives and learned a lot of different views, which is always good. I love when people bring an open mind. Nobody is going to always agree. Me and Catwoman go at it sometimes, but it's never a personal attack. We can have a conversation and agree to disagree. And I think so many people need to learn that art.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to change how you think, and I don't want anybody to try to change how I think unless I'm just really wrong. I am open to people telling me I'm wrong and why.
Yeah.
But if it's a personal attack, then nobody's listening to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we also grow empathy as we hear people's stories.
Yeah.
And learn more about each other. And so hearing about like your citizenship kind of journey and voting journey, like hopefully that gives people a little bit more empathy of like, and makes them think a little bit more of just like, okay, like this is a big deal to be able to vote. This is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're going to say who you are.
I'm Emily.
I'm Catwoman.
And I'm Gigi, the Gadget Goddess. And we are
your homegirls of
tech.
Say the word tech.
Am I supposed to say homegirl of tech? I don't know. Am I a homegirl of tech now?
You are. Yeah. You're a homegirl of tech.
Yeah.
Here on the Gadget Chats podcast. Y'all have a great evening. You got something to say?
No, I was just going to say, catch you guys next Thursday.
Yes. See you Thursday.
Bye.